Heyo, welcome back everybody. This is Eon Chikino continuing the Heart of the Swarm mini-series on the units. So once again, we're going to look at some Protoss stuff. We got the Mothership core. So let's look at the Mothership core. The Mothership core is built out of the Nexus. The requirements for it are no Mothership core, no Mothership, and you need a Cybernetics core. So essentially you need a Cybernetics core to build one. You can only have one of them at a time. So that's good to know. And I'm trying to think, like, whenever I was first using the Mothership core, I was kind of using it as a defensive unit to try and do like a gateway Cybernetics core expand. And I had limited success with it. I don't know if that's really what it's going to be used for. Kind of thinking the Forge Fast expand is still going to be the king as far as Protoss expanding goes early game. So let's look at how much it costs. It costs 100 minerals, 100 gas, and has a 30-second build time. And it does use up your build time of your Nexus, so it'll stop your probe production for a little while. Of course, it doesn't in this demo because I'm playing on the custom map. It's not supposed to, but it will slow down your probe production, which is one reason why I kind of don't like it for an expansion, because it stops your economy unnecessarily. But anyways, so let's say you have your Mothership core out. You've been using it all game. You upgrade it to a Mothership. So the Mothership costs 300 minerals, 300 gas, and 8 supply. Takes 100 seconds on top of the Mothership core as itself. So what you'll do is you'll just click U, and it starts morphing. You can see here. So it's kind of like an Archon. You can't move it or anything like that. It's kind of just stuck there. And I wonder if you can push it around with some void rays like you can. So I wonder if this works. Probably not, because you can just fly through stuff in the air. So yeah, it doesn't work. But one thing cool about this is you can't chrono boost it or anything like that either. Tried that. A cool thing about it, though, is the energy that it has as a Mothership core gets transferred over 100% to the Mothership. So let's say it's late game, you got your Mothership core out, you just finished your fleet beacon, you want to make a Mothership. In your Mothership core already has 100% energy. So as soon as it's done morphing, you'll have a full energy Mothership. So you can do vortexes, mass recalls, you can do whatever you normally want to do with your Mothership, but you'll have full energy from the get-go. Now that's going to change a lot as far as PvP and PvZ for the most part, especially PvZ. So many PvZ games come down to, does he land the vortex or doesn't he? And in this situation, as soon as your Mothership is done, you'll instantly be able to make 2 of them. That's really huge. You see there, as you can see, the energy transferred over completely. And you got your mass recall as usual, and you've got your vortex. So same skills there as far as the Mothership goes. So let's go back to the Mothership core. Pop that guy, kill him. Warps in there from the Nexus. You can make this at any of your Nexus, just like you can in Wings of Liberty. Let's look at the skills. So Energize, recharge the energy of target unit or structure to maximum. Now when I first thought about this, I was thinking, well, alright, what do you have in your army that you could charge up? Well, of course you got your chrono boost. You want to chrono boost a whole bunch of stuff, spend all your chrono boost. Then you could use Energize, cast that on there, and then you'll have full energy. Let's just try that out. So Energize. There we go. Full energy. Beautiful. Full energy, and you just want to, let's say you want to do it again, like spend all your chrono boost on stuff that doesn't need to be chrono boost because you're crazy. Energize. And there you go. So that's pretty cool. Next up on the list, wait, one more thing. I was thinking about this a little bit more, and you can do this on buildings and also on units. So let's say it's early game, you're like, OMG, I'm getting Zergling Rush, I need to throw down force fields, lols, and you're like, uh-oh, I'm out of force fields, what can I do now? Well, you just cast Energize, and throw down some force fields, and you get a couple more force fields out of it. So there you go. Useful there. And of course, if you got a High Templar in your base and you're going to get dropped on, you're like, oh no, here comes a medevac. Do I have a medevac around here somewhere? Oh no, here comes Zerglings. Zerglings are coming in. And you use all your storms, whatever. You want to energize them again. There you go. You can energize, throw down another storm. Do another energize. Do it. Cast the storm. There we go. So it really lets you, make your units, you have your spellcasters just that little bit better in case you need to do that. That's cool stuff.
We await.
Now, one thing I was curious about, what is the exact range of Energize? Is there like a range to that, or is it global, or what? Let's run this guy away and see. Let's energize him up. And yep, there evidently seems to be a range. Let's go check that out. What is the range of Energize? Actually, okay, it shows it. Is that the thing on the ground there? Not sure what this dotted thing is, but let's put him up there. Energize. Okay, yeah, it was. So whenever you have it selected like that, it shows you the range. So that's the range. It's about, I don't know, what is that, 7 range probably? So that's effective uses of Energize in 1v1. Now I was thinking, what could you do with this in a 2v2 scenario? And I know 2v2 is fun. A lot of people play it, not really on the pro scene, but I just wanted to think about it anyway because I like thinking about Starcraft. Now imagine your opponent's like, I'm going to go for a cloaked Banshee rush. But when your Banshee spawns, it doesn't have, you know, a ton of energy. It's got 50, and you use half of that by just cloaking. What if your ally makes a Banshee, comes over your base, he's like, dude, energize me. And he's like, thanks, man. And now you got a Banshee with full energy going to harass your opponent. And if your opponent doesn't have cloak detection, you could, it's like essentially your Banshee's alive twice, or even maybe more than twice as long as it normally would be off a Cloak Banshee rush. So that's really cool. So you got Cloak Banshee, you can kind of abuse that in 2v2, I think. And what else could you, maybe a Raven? No, not really Raven, not really that. I'm thinking, I guess, maybe Infestors, but then again, most people get the Pathogen Glands upgrade anyway, so. I mean, as far as like 2v2 things go, I think you can really make Banshees like amazing with Purify. I think that could be really, really cool. Because people are like, why isn't the cloak running out? It's been, you know, 10 seconds already. And he's still got cloak out the wazoo here. Look at this. Crazy. So there is Energize. Next up, we got Purify. So Purify powers, sorry, it costs 75 energy. 45-second cooldown. Powers up the Mothership core, allowing it to gain a powerful weapon that deals 25 damage for 45 seconds. So the cooldown is the exact same thing as for how long the skill lasts. So theoretically, you could just chain cast Purify for as long as you have energy. So for example, let's say your Zerg opponent's doing a run by. He's doing a run by because that's what Zerg players do, and he's attacking your mineral line. You've got your Mothership core just chilling out in your base, slowly moving around at 0.47 move speed, and the Zerglings are coming. Here they are. They're slowly getting across the map. How do they not have movement speed yet? There they do. Now they do. Now they're fast. And you see it coming, you're like, oh no, I don't have any defenses. And I don't have any warpins. Turn on Purify. It spins up like a big, I don't know, dishwasher. That's not really cool. But it looks really cool whenever it's spinning around like that. And while it's spinning, it's going to be shooting. 25 damage a shot. 7 damage weapon speed. 1.25. Attacks air and ground. And it just flies around really slow. Kills stuff, and cleans up anything you got in your base. Well, not anything, but, you know, small things. Now, I was thinking, what could this really be used for? I was really thinking a lot, and I'm like, okay, small Zergling attacks, yeah, maybe, that's pretty much it. But I think really what it could be used for is, let's say you're over here, got your mining base, but you have your Mothership core kind of like over here between, let's imagine this is all open area. This is all like a space where no ground units can go to. So, and then you've got an enemy who comes in with a, let's say they got a warp prism.
Base is under attack.
So let's say they got a warp prism with some units in there. Got a warp prism with some units in there. They got them loaded up. And he's heading on over. Zerglings, I'm done with you, Zerglings. You can go away. So, let's see, he's got his warp prism. He's coming in.
Direct us.
Now, keep in mind the warp prism is 100, and the medevac is 150. So that's a couple shots from this Mothership core. I mean, it'll kill in a couple shots, and this thing attacks pretty fast. So let's say you scout the warp prism on your mini-map. It's coming in. You turn your Purify on. You're ready for it, and the thing goes on by, and it just starts getting attacked, and he's not paying attention. He's like, why is there anything out there? And you can take it out, or even if it tries to go in phase mode, you can slowly get in there. Get in there. There we go. 7 range takes it out. So this will be a somewhat effective measure against drop harass for Protoss players. So that's another really cool use for the Purify ability. Now, do I think people are going to be doing Purifier rushes off proxy nexuses? No, not at all, because these things aren't that strong. They have 100 shields, 150 life, and 1 armor only, and they're slow as dirt, 0.47. So they're not that fast at all. So I think it's going to be more of a defensive / support unit. And that leads me on to the last and final skill. Is going to be Mass Recall. Recalls all units owned by the player in the target area to the caster being the Mothership core. So let's warp in some dudes. Actually, all my dudes are dead. Let's warp in some Immortals, and let's do some Oracles, because you're Oracle Immortal rushing, like always. Standard. Standard Immortal Oracle rush. Mass Recall. You see, I think that's the exact same area of effect for Mass Recall as the standard Mothership. So let's say you're out here in the middle. You're getting attacked by Marines. The Marines are flooding in. It looks like it's over, man. It's over. He's even stimming. He's stimming in there. You're going to go, oh no, it's too much. Mass Recall. Later. Save most of your forces. They teleport back to your Mothership core, and he's good to go. So yeah, that's it kind of gives you the ability as a Protoss to go in, attack, deal damage, and then save your units and not have to worry about a retaliation from an attack. So it gives the Protoss a lot more flexibility to larger attacks earlier on in the game with the possibility of saving their units. So I'm imagining you can't use Energize on a Mothership core, because that would be crazy, because I'm going to look at this here in a second, but if you could Energize it once it gets up to 100 to full life, that would just be weird. I don't think you can do that. I'm going to try it here in a couple of seconds. So what am I going to talk about next is, of course, Mass Recall is pretty useful. You could use an offensive Mass Recall where you kind of slowly sneak into your opponent's base, be outside their base. You know, let's say their base is here. Your Mothership core is here. You kind of slowly walk over, get in their mineral line, and then just do a Mass Recall, pull all your forces into your opponent's base. Offensive Mass Recalls works. And now you kind of have that opportunity to do it throughout the whole game, as opposed to just waiting for it. Okay, yeah, you can't target caster. That makes sense. But yeah, you have the opportunity to do Mass Recall offensively or defensively throughout essentially the whole game, because you can get this pretty fast as far as the game goes. So it gives Protoss a lot more flexibility to attack, defend, do different types of attack, throwing a lot more strategy into the game, which is always good, as long as it's balanced. So, of course, this guy can turn into a Mothership, and that's really all I got to say about Mothership Core. How is this effective? What matchups are it going to be used for? I could see it being used in timing attacks versus Zerg to take out maybe a quick third. You're going to send in a couple Stalkers and Zealots. Just, you know, what normally would be a suicide attack to kill it. You go in there, kill the third base, and you're trapped by Zerglings, do a Mass Recall, boom, save all your units. You don't have to worry about a retaliation. So I think that's maybe one of our really common uses of Mass Recall we're going to see early game from the Mothership Core. So that's all I got to say about the Mothership Core. Pretty cool unit to be added on into the game. Has a couple different uses. I'm not quite sure how it's going to be fleshed out as far as build orders and timing attacks go. It's a really cool unit, changing up the game quite a bit. If you have any questions, as usual, post them in the thread, post them in the comments, or just tweet them to me, and I'm at EonShikino. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/EonShikino. And I think that's it for me. Is there any other... I think that's all the units that are in the Heart of the Swarm, and I covered all of them. I'm almost positive I covered everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this whole series. If you watched everything, thanks for watching. I'm going to continue to do more Heart of the Swarm videos. I'm going to try to get some replays from some people and do some commentaries on that. So stay tuned for that. Once again, thanks for watching. See you guys later.